Hey guys, Basidio here. Got a UU match for you today. Uh, it's a team you've already seen. It's my Hail team. Probably one of the better teams I've made in any tier. Got me a very high rank on Pokemon Showdown. It led to me getting voiced. So, definitely one of the better teams I've made in any tier. I'm facing Golden Bunny. I'm not going to do a full overview of my team because I've done that on another video. I'll give you a brief overview if you haven't seen it. Subseed Abomasnow, Frostlass, who's my rapid spin blocker, Spikes, Destiny Bomb sub, Quillfish takes fire, V creates and flare blitzes for my team, and sets up toxic spikes with haze for boosters, stuff like that. Stall Ring, classic, no need to cover anything more than that. Claydol, Stealth Rock, Setter, and Rapid Spinner, and Choice Scarf, Rotom F. So, looking at his team, I see a lot of big threats to my team, Empoleon in particular, because the only thing I can hit an Empoleon with on my team worth anything is my uninvested Claydol, which won't do anything, and a T-Bolt or Volt Switch from my Rotom F. Also, Xatu, because I'm a stall team and all stall teams hate Magic Bounce. I can hit it with a Blizzard, obviously, but I can't really set up hazards as long as it's alive, unless I predict well. He's also got Volt Turn, which is pretty annoying, and any Volt switch or Thunderbolt aimed at Empoleon, he can switch in his Rotom Heat, his Raikou, his Flygon. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. I'm going to have to play well. So, let's get started. He leads off with his Victinias. I lead off with my Rotom Frost. And I make a switch into my Quillfish. He makes a great prediction right off the bat. Goes for his Zen Headbutt, because of the Intimidate and because I'm so physically bulky, I'm able to live it pretty well. He switches into his Xatu. I had to switch because I wouldn't live another Zen Headbutt. Go into Shiver Me Timber. So now I figure I can't set up Leech Seed. He can't really do anything. He can't risk a U-turn because he doesn't know my set. I might be scarfed for all he knows. So he switches out. I go for a sub, and he switches into his Empoleon. So now I get a free sub. I go for a Leech Seed. He goes for a Roar right away, and roars in my Quillfish. So good for me because my Quillfish gets some needed recovery from the Leech Seed. Figure he'd go for Stealth Rocks this turn, so I risk going for Toxic Spikes because I didn't think Xatu would switch in. And I was right, he does go for the Stealth Rocks. So now I figure I'll switch into Xatu, so I can't go for another layer of T-Spikes. I switch in my Claydol, not because I wanted to set up my Stealth Rocks. Like I said, I figured Xatu would switch in, and he does. But mainly because I want to get rid of the Stealth Rocks on my side, because 4 out of 6 of my Pokemon take 25% from it. So I go for the Rapid Spin as he goes for a Nightshade. And now I can't do anything. So I switch out into my Rotom as he goes for a U-turn. So he goes into his Victini, gets poisoned, and takes hail damage. So, slowly but surely, I'm going to be wearing down that Victini. Go back into my Quillfish. He goes for a U-turn. Take it like a champ. Quillfish. So, he goes into his Rotom Heat. I can't take a Volt Switch, obviously, so I'm going to have to switch. I switch into my Claydol. And he goes for a Volt Switch. I make a double switch here because I know Xatu's probably going to come in, and I can't do anything to it. I can't Toxic it. I can't set up rocks. So, yeah, I just go for a double switch. And his Xatu does come in. I go into my Frostlass, my Prostitute. So, I predict a switch here, and I go for a sub. And I see he has leftovers, which isn't good for my team. I can deal with a Scarf set better than a defensive set. I figure he won't switch. He would go for a Volt Switch. And I know I outspeed because I see leftovers, so I go for Spikes. So I got 2 layers up with a Xatu alive, so I'm pretty proud of myself. It's a pretty cool feat. And he goes into his Raikou. Makes another really solid prediction and goes for a Hidden Power Ice. He is predicting very well. Good battler. congrats, shout out to you, Golden Bunny. Those predictions. So he gets a crit. It did matter, but I would have just foddered him anyway after the first one. Go back into my Prostitute, knowing he's locked into HPIs because I don't see lefties. Go for a sub on the switch as he goes into his Zatu. And I almost went for spikes here because I figured he'd be switching. But I decided to play it safe and go for a Blizzard. And as he goes into his Empoleon. So now I just go for another Blizzard, predicting the Zatu to switch back in, predicting spikes, and I take him out. So thank God that Zatu is gone, because now I can set up the rest of my entry hazards without worrying about Magic Bounce. So I make a really stupid play. I forget that he was leftovers, and I go for a sub. I always think Scarf when I see Rotom. So he breaks my sub, I waste a turn, and he switches in Victini for free. Which, all of that together is just... I made a stupid play. So, he makes the prediction again and goes for the Zen Head, but I don't really mind this time because I only need one layer of T-Spikes. And I didn't want to sack my Prostitute that early. Now he's got the Intimidating locked into Zen Headbutt, so I can switch in and go for a free sub. Figured he'd go for a U-turn here, and I know that a Scarfed Flygon U-turn doesn't break my sub. So I go for Spikes, I think. Yeah, I go for Spikes. He switches in his Rotom Heat. Now I know I outspeed. So I go for a third layer of Spikes, and now I got all my Spikes up, and I got all the entry hazards I can get up, because my other two entry hazard layers are dead. So he goes into his Flygon again. I don't want to take a Stone Edge because my Frostlass is doing work right now. So I go into Shiver Me Timbers. He goes for an Outrage. And he does 43%, so I go for a Protect. Because I'm at 43%, so I'll be able to take another Outrage if I need to after this Protect. And he switches out as I go for a Blizzard. Which... yeah, he wasn't locked in anymore because I protected. And I get a little bit more lefties. He goes for a Will-O-Wisp, which sucks. So I go for a Leech Seed, which sucks more because I want any residual damage I can on this Rotom Heat because it is a problem for my team. So now I figure I'll go for an Overheat, and I'm willing to sack my Abomasnow so he takes the -2. Because I'd rather him have to switch than switch into something else on my team and have it be killed. So I go for a sub, as he goes for a Volt Switch. Doesn't break my sub because he's at -2. Goes into his Flygon. Predict the U-turn, and this time it will break because of the Volt Switch damage on my sub. So I go for another sub. He goes into his Victini, which takes spike damage, hail damage, and poison damage, which kills it. And I get a free sub. So, behind a sub. Prostitute, doing work. Substitute Frostlass, try it out. Frostlass causes a lot of switches. So he goes into his Raikou and goes for a Volt Switch. Takes all the spikes damage. And I go for a Blizzard, which the reason I didn't go for a sub is because next time Raikou switches in, he's going to die from entry hazard damage. So I go for a Destiny Bond here. Wasn't sure if it was going to kill me, but he gets a crit. So kind of reverse luck hacks because he got a crit, but I kind of wanted him to, just to make sure that my Frostlass would die. So kind of got lucky. Not really. It might have killed anyway, but it's funny when you're hoping for a crit. For them to crit you. So he goes for a Stone Edge with his Flygon, misses. Didn't matter because Walrein took it like a champ. 37% on the other one. I go for a Blizzard and take out the Flygon. Switches into his Raikou. I go for Protect. Goes for a Thunderbolt. And dies from hail damage. So, oh the huge manatee. Yeah, last Pokemon is Empoleon. Takes Spikes damage as I switch into my Rotom F. Goes for a Scald and gets the burn. Thank God this Empoleon wasn't running Protect, because I would have won a Stall War between us as long as he wasn't running Grass Knot, but I didn't want to have to waste 5 turns Blizzarding. So I go for a T-Bolt and take it out. So yeah, great game, Golden Bunny. Very great game. You had solid prediction, and you have a very nice UU core. Um, yeah, great game. Frostlass, definitely MVP. Substitute Frostlass causes switches. No one uses Substitute on Frostlass, and I don't really get it. It's great. I mean, Snowcloak is banned, so it's not as viable as it was in DPP, because with Snowcloak, you can get miss evasion. You can cause misses and get free subs, but I still like it. So again, good game. Frostlass, great Pokemon, MVP. Like, comment, subscribe if you like the battle, and see you tomorrow.